Hello everyone, welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand confirmed that Global Affairs Canada issued a formal notice, known as a démarche, to Israel's envoy in Ottawa following the death of a Canadian citizen in Lebanon. Hassan Haidar, a 38-year-old resident of Windsor, Ontario, was reportedly killed by an Israeli drone on April 10 during Israel's military operations in Lebanon. Minister Anand emphasized Canada's demand for a full and transparent investigation into the incident, a request that Israel's foreign ministry has reportedly committed to. While a démarche is a formal request for information, it stops short of a full diplomatic summoning. The minister also highlighted Canada's plea for Israel to uphold Lebanese sovereignty and ensure civilian protection, especially as a fragile 10-day ceasefire between Israel and Iran-backed Hezbollah is currently in effect. Anand announced plans to travel to the Persian Gulf region in the coming weeks to further discuss civilian protection and de-escalation efforts. This news is from City News Everywhere. The National Chief of the Assembly of First Nations, Cindy Woodhouse-Nepinock, has called on the United Nations to condemn what she describes as a regressive attempt by British Columbia's government to amend or suspend portions of its Indigenous rights law. According to the Canadian press, this BC law is based on the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, DRIPA. Premier David Eby government had voiced concerns, citing a December court ruling that suggested the law posed a significant legal risk to the province. After initially considering changes, Premier Eby stated Monday that his government would instead work with First Nations to find a solution. However, Chief Woodhouse-Nepinock, speaking at the UN Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues, emphasized that the rights of First Nations are safeguarded by international human rights law and cannot be unilaterally suspended, amended, or paused by any government. She underscored the necessity of good faith negotiations for true reconciliation and respect for the UN Declaration. The Canadian press reports that the Mexican government has confirmed a shooting at the internationally famous Teotihuacan pyramids was a planned attack, resulting in the death of a Canadian tourist, Jose Luis Cervantes Martinez. The Attorney General for the state of Mexico stated that the 27-year-old gunman, Julio Cesar Yasso Ramirez of Guerrero, Mexico, acted alone. He was found with a tactical-style backpack and literature related to the 1999 Columbine High School shooting in the U.S., before he reportedly shot himself to death. The incident on Monday also left at least 13 people injured, including a 29-year-old Canadian woman and a 6-year-old boy from Colombia. No information has been released on the Canadian victim who was killed. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney expressed condolences and thanked Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum for her attention to the tragedy. Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand stated that consular officials are on the ground assisting victims and that Ottawa is examining travel advisories for Mexico. Teotihuacan, a major archaeological site north of Mexico City, welcomed over 1.8 million international visitors last year. The Canadian press reports that communities across central and eastern Canada are currently on high alert, facing significant spring flooding caused by a combination of recent rainfall and rapidly melting snow. In New Brunswick, the St. John River has reached flood stage east of Fredericton, a critical level indicating substantial provincial costs. Water levels at Gaytown, NB, hit 4.26 meters, with a peak of 4.4 meters expected. Consequently, several river trails in Fredericton are closed, and flood warnings are in effect for areas like Jemseg, St. John, and Oromocto. Paul Bradley of the New Brunswick Emergency Measures Organization warns residents to stay away from the water due to the risk of hypothermia, swift currents, and debris. He emphasized that water levels could easily rise again if conditions change. Similar flood warnings are also impacting parts of Ontario, Quebec, and Manitoba. The Canadian Climate Institute notes that climate change is exacerbating the severity and frequency of such flood events across the country. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.